Okay, that's going to be good for that sugar. We've got some couple different citruses over here. Dinner with mom. I don't know when you popped on. Tonight I'm making a macaroni and cheese, making pigs in a blanket, and I'm doing lemonade. Current lemonade is happening now. Uh, and then the dough for the pigs in the blanket is proofing in that bowl with the little blue striped towel over the top of it. All right, this is good. I don't need this to boil. We're all set with this. Um, okay, so I kind of want to mix this all together in the same big vessel. So I'm actually going to get another large pot out from under here because I know it will fit. Uh, okay, so we have a large pot. This is a bit ridiculous, uh, but welcome. Ridiculous is fine. Ridiculous is welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and combine these juices. Make sure, combine these juices. We've got 20 ounces of lemon. I'm actually going to write this down just so I know. 20 ounces of lemon, orange, and blood orange. So 20 ounces of lemon, 13 ounces of orange, and there's a good red color, and 8.5 ounces of blood orange. That's great. Okay. I'm going to combine that with the water from here. And then this is pretty saturated. So if this needs more water, I am going to just add regular water and that'll be fine. Okay, so I've got 20, 30, 38. I'm counting the ounces. 30, 20, 38, 41, 41 and a half ounces. I said I wanted the three, 1 part lemon, 2 parts water. So 41, that's 4, 8, 82, 82 ounces of water. And then we'll taste it and see how that goes. Yeah, math seems fine. Okay. I don't even know if there's 82 ounces of water in this pot. I don't even know if the scale can hold 82 ounces of water. 40, 50, 60. Oh, we air it out. Cool. 60. What was I at last? I think this goes up to 70. Uh, cool. Well, let's go ahead and taste it now, actually. And I'll tell you if I need to add more water. Man, this music kind of kicked into a different gear. I love it. Much improved from earlier. All right, so yeah, that'll do. More of this, more of that. I'm just gonna add the rest of this. Okay, cool, cool. I probably should have just done that from the start. Whatever. I I overcomplicated it in the surprise to nobody that knows me. Cool. So what we have is a giant thing, and I want to ladle that into these containers. But first, I want to add some of this pulp back into it because I love pulp. The lemon pulp I think what I'd like to do, I'm gonna just gonna pick some of this out by hand because there's some big chunks in here. So I don't want the large chunks. We're gonna put the large chunks. Move the compost bin right there. So we're gonna put the large chunks in the compost. And some of these, it's gonna put the fine pulp back in here from each of these respective little containers. 'Cause I like a little pulp. Pulp can be a divisive issue. I understand this, but I think a little pulp is good. And if you don't like it, you know, that's cool too. You don't have to like everything. I tell my son, you just kind of have to, you need to try things, but it's okay not to like things. But you should also don't stop trying things just because you don't think that you like it. It's a very delicate dance for sure. All right, so I've got lemon pulp in here. I've got blood orange pulp in here. I've got some regular orange pulp in there, and this is about good to go, I would say. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rinse off. One, we're gonna rinse off. Two, I'm gonna combine all these pulps into one because they are now. Uh, I'm not going to use the rest of this. This gets to go the way of the zest. Dinner with mom, buttered noodles. I'm appreciating your dedication to this lemonade process. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It is, I like regular lemonade. My partner definitely is very happy with like Wawa or like Turkey Hill or whatever lemonade. Um, but I think one of the ways that I show love is through food. And I think that for me, I kind of just like to, her family's going to be in town and I want to have something like nice. And I'm also like a little bit of also just kind of a like, I like, I like doing stuff like this. It makes me feel good. It's like special, special lemonade. You all right. So this was the juice I combined earlier. So I'm going to make myself a little drink there. Um, all the containers in the sink. Now, last, I want to stir this and try it and see how it is. Dinner with mom, that is the absolute sweetest thing. Yeah, thank you. I think it's interesting. Like she has said before, she'll be very happy. Like I'm gonna make mac and cheese tonight, right? And things that we love in this house: buttered noodles for sure, uh, and regular mac and cheese, like Kraft box mac and cheese. And there is definitely a place for that. We have it all the time. I I just like I want to like make it a little bit extra, a little extra special, for the there we go. For the purpose of just like it's a birthday, we got family in town. No shame in that. Well, thank you. Um, so this get one of these containers. I want to dirty yet another thing. So let's see how this is. Well, crushed ice. Let's try this. See how it goes. Yeah, there it is. All right, that's good. That's what I wanted. And now I want to ladle this into some bottles. Um, and we will get dinner with mom. It's a win. It is a win. I, the other thing with like homemade stuff like this is you can make a lot of it and it's going to be there for a while. And if you get the stuff from the store, you just don't have as much of it. I don't know. You buy like a gallon of it. And, I don't know. There's something really nice about just like good homemade stuff. So this is great. We're coming into the finish on this lemonade. I'm still trying to decide whether or not I do the mac and cheese next or whether or not I go for the rolls. I'm thinking that I'm going to do the pigs in a blanket next. Whoa, wasn't paying attention. Ah, uh, thinking about pigs in a blanket. I'm thinking I'm going to do the pigs in a blanket next because while they bake, I have a bit of cheese to shred. So I want to make better use of my time. So I think I'm going to do the rolls, let them bake, let them cool, and then the mac and cheese will be the last thing I make tonight. Okay, number one day. I am very quickly coming to realize that I'm going to need more vessels than I have because it did not look like anything came out of this pot at all. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more. I don't know where there's more coming from. I've got other bottles with no tops. It's a problem. No, this might be okay. This is good. I feel like we've got some family coming into town this weekend. Two parents and a brother, and I feel like this might be enough lemonade for everybody to get us through the weekend. But you never know. It's popular. It goes quick. Okay. Well, this definitely filled up more than what I was expecting. So we're gonna have to recalibrate here. How much of this is left? There's quite a bit left. What can I put this in? I'm not asking for help because I know that nobody knows what else is in this kitchen. Um, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use these quart containers that I had the juice in earlier, and I'm just going to put it right in there. Could I make ice cubes out of it? Would that be a reasonable idea? Cerudo, what's up? In your belly, chug chug. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to have some more of this evening. Hey, Cerudo, welcome. Thanks for popping in. Um, we'll see. This is kind of coming in now. We're This is a bit more than I thought, but uh, it's never been a problem before. It's a good problem. All right. This is. I'm glad I did this first because at the moment this feels like it might be the messiest part, the lemonade, but there's still rolls and cheese to contend with. So you know, uh, I'm not gonna put my stake in that ground yet. All right. So almost there. And this is actually kind of warm because I was warming the water for the sugar, to melt the sugar. So I'm going to let these sit for just a second here. Toss this stuff in the sink and then recalibrate. And I do think I've decided to do the rolls, then shred the cheese, then make the mac and cheese. That is going to be the. All right. All right. This counter is sticky, very sticky. I need to get these guys wiped off, and then wipe the counter. And then I'm going to make those pigs in a blanket. That will be next. One, two, three, four. Perfect. Okay. This towel, probably use that scale again. Ooh, there's a mix of like flour and lemon uh sticky on the counter. Probably need that spoon again. Washing machine stuff that way. All right. Kenneth Mom BRB. No rush, Kenneth Mom. I am gonna be here for a little while. So take your time. I'm happy to have you here. Okay. All right. Counter is less sticky now. Great. Um, do I have room in the fridge for these elements? There's out. Um, yes, we'll have room for this in a moment. Oh, that is open. That's not good. Okay. Get these guys in. One, two, three, and four. You know what? That is inviting danger into this house, not putting a lid on that. That is inviting lemonade onto the floor, is what that is. Okay. Alrighty. Next, move this out of the way. I'm almost into like needing to do dishes territory at this point. I've done like nothing. Okay, so pigs in a blanket are next. That's what we're gonna do. What do I need to do for that? Remove the dough from the bowl, oil the bowl, got it. Preheat oven to 400 degrees, did that. Punch the dough down and roll into a log. Cut the dough into 12 equal portions. Roll each portion into 8-inch pieces. So I need to cut the dough into 12 pieces and then roll those into their own pieces and twist around the hot dogs. Place them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Okay, cool. I can do that. What I also want to do though is put some cheese in these because pigs with blanket are good with cheese. So I'm going to do that. Um, let me get these hot dogs out here and just get everything ready to do like a little production for these pigs in a blanket. Um, and then we will go from there. Watch as I just ridiculously try to figure out how to open this thing. Cool. Zerudo, if you're still here, how was your evening? What was exciting about your day, if anything? And what are you looking forward to this weekend? Is there anything that you're looking forward to? Uh, we are looking forward to some birthday time around here this weekend. That is the prep that's happening tonight, and the events of the weekend are all be birthday focused. All right, so we got 12 of these things out. Oh, 12, 12 hot dogs. We're gonna get some cheese. I might as well get the cheese out for the macaroni and cheese because I made that in a moment. It's falling all over. This is what happens when you have a bunch of food ready for the weekend. And you know what? We could also, I kind of want to throw some pepperoni into these pigs in a blanket. Uh, Pepperoni and a little cheese, I think would be perfect. Um, let's get, I know that I need, for the macaroni, I know that I need, uh, eight. I'm going to use some of this cheese for the pigs in blanket. I don't want to mess up what I need. I need 12 ounces of each cheese. These are 8-ounce blocks. So I need a block and a half of each of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut half a block of each of these off, and I'll be able to um, use that for the pigs in the bucket. Let's just go with, that's a bit fast. Okay, that's about half of that. All right. Well, tonight, mac and cheese, pigs in a blanket, lemonade's done in the fridge, and we're moving well. What is this? Jack. Okay. So I've got 12 hot dogs. I'm gonna make 12 pigs in a blanket. I'm gonna cut some pieces off. I can just roll in there. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. One for me. Nice. All right. Let me do 12 of these. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 12 of each. So when I make these, let's take one from each pile. And let's do some pepperoni in there too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Put two of these in each. That'll be all right. All right. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. Mm, just got those today. Good. All right. Um, okay. I feel like I am in now. I need to consolidate what I'm doing. So I want to actually um, maybe shred this cheese next because I've got it here and it's out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm in a mode. I'm in a like let's prep mode. I'm going to shred this cheese real quick before we get into assembling these. And I need to shred all these blocks that are on the counter. The little extra pieces, I'm probably going to end up shredding as well, just because those are not, they're enough, they're enough to save. We'll see how it goes. All right, so this says that I need um, 8 ounces, 12 ounces of Monterey Jack, 12 ounces of sharp cheddar. So I've got scale. So this plus this should be roughly 12 ounces. And I think I combine them. Bring quarts, stir to separate. Okay, melt the butter. I'm looking to see if I can combine these or if they go in separately for some reason. Gradually add milk. Off the heat, whisk in the cheeses and 1 tablespoon of salt. Okay, so I don't need to worry about not combining these, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and just shred. Shred, shred, shred. Um, put a towel under here so I can get some actual traction with this bowl. There we go. Okay, so just shred. We're going to shred some cheese. We're now in this decided to do this now because it's on the counter and I'm like in the middle of prepping ingredients, so I want to just move with that energy here. All right, so we are finished the lemonade. We're almost ready to assemble the pigs in a blanket, and the macaroni and cheese should come together pretty well. Um, or should come together pretty quickly after that. And then we'll be finished, which is great. But I anticipate probably another hour and a half, if not a little bit more here. I don't know where y'all are in the world, but I'm in East Coast time, so it's 10, what is it, 10:45? Yeah, 10:45. 22:45 if you're a fan of 24-hour time, which I am, and frequently use that instead of AM PM. We are shredding. This is cheddar that I'm shredding right now. I can physically feel the difference in the softness of the cheese. The cheddar is a bit harder than the jack cheese, and it's very noticeable. Okay, very noticeable. Right. So at the end of all this, I should have about 24 ounces of cheese in this big bowl. And then we're just going to set this to the side and make the pigs in a blanket because I think I can make the mac and cheese while roast bake. This music has transitioned to more of an EDM vibe. If y'all aren't feeling it, let me know what else might be better. I'm feeling neutral about this music at the moment. Uh, Funny thing, I just figured out for yesterday how to get the music separate from the microphone and the other sounds because I was slightly disappointed, but whatever. The first time I did the first broadcast I did when it saved, it didn't save any of the sound. They were all in the same, it was all in the same track. I guess these are streamer problems. I don't know if anyone else has experienced anything of that nature, but it was kind of annoying to realize that 5 hours worth of complete silence and me just kind of gesticulating. Um, you learn. That's how it goes. All right. A lot of cheese. A lot of cheese. This is great. I am using a macaroni and cheese recipe from the America's Test Kitchen book. This is the book called The New Best Recipe that I really love. I've been using for a long, long time. I forget where I got it. But it's one of those books that's like, if you are like, man, I just want like the best meatloaf I've ever had, you know, then you're in well with that book. Ray Ray, how are you? It takes a while to figure it all out. Yeah, it kind of, I consider myself a really technically inclined person. In my, in previous lives, I've done tech for theater a long, long time ago, hooking up sound and lights and all that stuff. Um, it's a whole new world. It's great. It's like, I'm using there's like language and words that I've just like never heard before. And it's really fun. Um, to be honest, I like, I will like hyper focus on something for a while. And so for a couple weeks, I've just been like trying to figure out all the little ins and outs and like what happens when you know, like change this thing, or, how did people get this thing on their stream? And man, there's like, we're just, this is like the tip of the iceberg here. I don't know if we're going around the iceberg or crashing into it or what, but, the ships are moving. This is how it goes. That is how it goes. Almost finished here, and then we're going to figure out if we need to add a little bit more to this bowl. Shouldn't have about 24 ounces worth of cheese. That's the goal. So I was saying I was using this recipe from America's Test Kitchen. This book is called The New Best Recipe, and I have a bunch of stuff I've made from it. This particular mac and cheese recipe I've made before. I know I like it. I know also for a fact that it keeps well. This recipe is not one that calls for like baking for a long time. You are doing all of the work in a Dutch oven, like a pot, and all of that then goes into a casserole dish in the oven just to get broiled with the crust on top. So I'm going to make this tonight all the way up to putting it in the casserole dish. And then on Sunday, on actual birthday, then we're going to put that in the oven to warm up and then broil it with the crumb top. I don't want the crumb top to be in there tonight until Sunday because it will turn into not crispy. I don't think it will be crispy. All right. How many ounces do we have? 24.5. Perfect. That's great. Cheese ends. Yes. First things first, I'm going to cut a piece of this. I am going to save this. Or eat some first. Um, you can wrap this up in perfect. These are these beeswax wraps. I don't know if y'all have used these before. I was super skeptical. I was like, these look kind of whatever. They're not going to work. Whatever. I got them as a present. They work. They're great. I can absolutely vouch for the utility value of these holy shit. The utility value of the beeswax wraps for kitchen purposes. I also like them for camping. Uh, Ray Ray mush. Yes, for sure. All right. Cheese, cheese ends. We'll figure out what those are doing later. All right. So I prepped the cheese. This is just going to sit to the side for a while. I don't think I'm going to put this back in the fridge because it's not going to be more than like an hour or two. Um, okay. Pause. Let me check my checklist here. Um, lemonade done. We did the zesting. We de-seeded it. Um, I am now going to do the pigs in the blanket. That is what's next. Okay. I'm gonna leave that guy up there. I'm gonna leave this over there. and let's get production ready here. I'm going to keep these off to the side. These guys kind of get laid in this order. CJ, welcome back. I love a good to-do list. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I want to show you. I was showing Gwen this the other day. Back in like deep COVID, when I look at let's see, April 25th, 2020, April 18th through May 1st, 2020. This is my like weekly menu here. This is like ridiculous, ridiculous sort of planning. And this is what I do. This is what I do when I really feel like I want to like really figure out some meal planning. But today I've just got, a bit more of a like standard to-do list here on this side. This is today's list. So this is going to be pretty simple. Oh my stars. Oh my stars to the COVID thing. Yeah, it was a time. Uh, Ray keeps you on track. Yeah, it does, and that is quite the difference. I think the difference is that when what I was showing you a second ago was meal planning. That was like let's prep for a whole week. What do I have in inventory? What do I want to make? What's in the freezer? What's happening that week? Do I need to make dinner on Wednesday night? What night are we getting carry out? Because like sometimes you got to. My to-do lists are a lot more straightforward. Like tonight, it just says like lemonade, zest, seed, just so I don't forget to do those things. Um, you can go down a rabbit hole, as I'm sure some of y'all might be familiar. Okay, so I want to roll these out. The next thing I want to do is this dough. So I'm gonna get a little baking mat here so I don't get residual lemon zest from the counter on these onto these things. Where's my flour? There it is. I might have to do a little bit of rolling here. Um, what does this say? Preheat the oven. Done. Punch the dough down. Punch the dough down. So aggressive. And roll into a log. Oh shit! Look at that. This is like this is a quite the difference. This has been in here for an hour. No, this has been in here for at least an hour and a half at this point. It took me over an hour. So I'm gonna get a little bit of flour down on there just to roll out. And this says to roll it into a log and cut it into 12 equal pieces. So roll into a log, cut the dough into 12 equal portions, roll each portion into 8-inch pieces. All right. So how do we do this? First thing, I want to figure out what the dough weighs, because that will help me figure out what my pieces are. Let's get this going on. All right. Now this music is starting to feel nice again. Punch the dough down, it says. Okay, we're going to give this a little tap. I don't know how much to punch it. Dough is feeling good. Definitely feels a little gluten. You can feel the gluten in it. Okay, let's see. What we got here? Let's do this by grams. This feels a lot better than it did before. So I have 770 grams. I want to do, that's roughly 64 grams per piece. So I'm not going to like weigh this kind of as I cut it. I want to roll this out and then going to just put each piece on the scale just to kind of make sure I'm roughly around 60. Because I want to be able to do 12. Like I want 12 of these. Okay, so punch the dough down and roll into a log. Cut dough into 12 equal portions. Well, what kind of log What are we getting here? Okay. Oh, this has an inch thing at the top of it. That's cool. I always forget about the measuring on that. Okay, so 12 pieces. Cut the dough into 12 equal portions. Let's go with 167, 64. Perfect. That's going to be too big. 92, 80. Getting there. Eyeball it. No way. Sorry, I'm too anal retentive for that. Can't be done. You know what I should have done though? I should have cut this log in half. I should have just bisected it, and then that would have been easier. Uh, 78, 62. Close enough. Okay, so I need a little smaller piece than that. 71. Getting better. 55. God, Ray, you do live on the edge. I can't eyeball anything like that. I could, but they would just get progressively worse. I think that's the problem. It would just be like one would be good, and then it would be like not great from there. 38. No. 63. Perfect. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, I have six. We're gonna we're gonna recalibrate. I'm with you, Eat It, Daz. Yeah, I eyeball so many things. If you've watched any of the previous streams that I've done, I mean, you've definitely seen me just be like, "Oh, this is a little bit. Like, this is some salt. Put this in there." This is definitely like, I don't want to end up with like the end of this thing being uh having like one little teeny tiny piece at the end. All right, so I just cut this in half, and then I want to cut this about in thirds. 72, close, 61. Just do that. Okay, we're getting there. 64 on the nose, 76, not quite. I might end up with a little more. 62, close enough. Almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be more. I don't think it's the important. It's called Ray Ray. It's called uneducated guessing. Yeah, at least you know. Once you've got like the heft of it, like I've tossed a couple of these in here and been like, that's too big or that's too small. But once you've got the weight of the thing, you're in a good spot. I wouldn't mind eyeballing it. I just want to make sure I have enough to get to the end. So I got 12 hot dogs, so I need 12 of these pieces. Okay, almost there. Last, close enough. Okay, so I've got my 12 pieces. That's great. I'll need a little more flour on here. And then it says to roll each portion in 8-inch pieces and twist around the hot dogs. Place them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Okay, I'll do that. Let's get flour on my surface here. I'll get some extra flour. Just go over the top of these. All right, I'm going to rinse my hands real quick and then get some parchment paper and a sheet pan out. Get to rolling. Is that a Ray Ray emote? Is that a specific emote? Do you have your own emote? How do you get your own emote? That's cool. Hmm. Okay. What did I just say I was going to do? Sheet pans, parchment paper. Got some sheet pans. A couple things over on here for the purpose of staging. Parchment paper. One of these boxes. Okay. Uh, yes, yes, he has his own emote. He's the dad of Dinner with Mom. Well, awesome. I love all the different emotes. I've really been enjoying Twitch. I know that Dinner with Mom and Ray Ray. I know that you guys were have been doing this for a long time. I can only imagine how connected this must have helped you guys feel, uh, and still feel. You know, it's it was definitely. I feel like if I'd have discovered Twitch in 2020, I'm not sure like what would have come of that, but I certainly would have been more entertained. Um, so I learned this tip uh, the other day on the stream. Someone was saying how they hate how the parchment paper doesn't lay flat and just to like crumble it up because then you can mold it into the pan. And I was like, obviously, that's great. Like, of course. And then it doesn't like curl up in an oven either. So this is a tip that I just immediately took back and started using. I wonder if you can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. I feel like the microphone doesn't pick up a lot of the kitchen like sounds. I kind of like hearing the kitchen sounds, so I'll have to work on. I'll have to work on. Okay, so we've got two sheet pans prepared. I've got the oven hot already. It's been hot. It's been hot since before I started the stream, so it's hot in here. It's warm. It's not warm. Okay, I'm actually going to keep this flour here because I might need that. Okay, clear this bowl. Oh my gosh, the sink is kind of a disaster. All again. I don't know. I don't. I feel like I just can't help myself. I usually clean when I cook. But if I'm here and not this is not happening, y'all aren't with me. I would have done most of those dishes already and would be not as far along. You cannot hear that. Okay, cool. That's good to know. The music helps cover it up. Thank you, Dinner with Mom. Thank you, Ray Ray. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I like hearing. I kind of like hearing the actual kitchen sounds too. Like I would love to be able to hear. I love when you can hear like the like clinking of things and rolling and sort of all the different little sounds. But whatever. I don't need that. I don't need that at the moment. We're not going to figure that out right now for sure. Okay, so this says roll these out. Um, roll these out for 8 inches. I'm going to roll these out for longer because I definitely want them to cover. And I am going to. I'm going to just do. Maybe I'll just roll all of these at once and then fill them. No, I'm going to try. I'm going to roll one of these out, do it start to finish, and then I will, if this is long enough, I'll roll all of them that same way. Dinner with Mom. That's the thing. Nobody talks about streaming food. So many dishes. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing. I, I was thinking like I could move, I have this little tripod camera. I could move it over there and be like, have it like here and I'm doing dishes and like watch chat. But then you're sort of like, looking at the side of my face. I don't know. It just seemed like it might not be interesting. Uh, but yeah, I'm the type that would have cleared that. I would have like dried them and put them away already. So I'll be honest, like it kind of bothers me, but I'm also keenly aware that almost all of that goes in the dishwasher. So I'm less anxious about it at the moment. All right. So what we have here, you can see we've got my little station. I've got Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese, some whatever these things are called, pepperonis. And then I've got these hot dogs. These are turkey hot dogs, so they're a little bit healthier. Um, Whatever, they're probably not any healthier, but I like using turkey because while beef is sure tasty, uh, I just have in my head this the environmental impact of it, and I don't know. I feel like it's just like a small thing. I don't really eat beef all that often. I'm gonna dry those hot dogs off just a little bit. Dinner with mom, you need a dish assistant. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I sure wouldn't say no. But these are my dishes. I have made them, and so they are my responsibility. That's how I see it. CJ, rumor is that it's a true story, Ray Ray. Yeah, I would. When I think about cooking at home, I don't think about dishes. When I think about cooking at camp, like doing camping cooking, I always think about dishes and like how do I not use up like how do I just not create a ton of dishes to do while I'm at camp? All right, so we've got a hot dog, we've got the cheese, the pepperoni, and this just says to wrap this John around, twist around the hot dogs. All right, cool, you got it. Let's let's do a little twisty here. Okay, well, I definitely need to run. Uh, definitely need to. This is not long enough by any stretch. So I think the best way to do this is to roll these out and then to sort of like let them dangle like that a little bit and let them elongate on their own. All right, so I'm glad that I did a test one here first because this one feels like it's going to be um actually, you know what? This feels good. That's good. I want to cover the cheese a little bit and make sure that the cheese doesn't I know that it's going to leak out, but I want it to not like explode out. Okay. Um, Here's the deal. Let's get a little more flour in here. Let's just put some flour in here so I don't have to keep digging in this bag. That's annoying. A little flour. And I am gonna assemble these as I go because the I feel like rolling them out, they sort of spring back. Like I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of recondensing here. And I want to have them like rolled around the hot dog and on the pan and ready. The next thing that we do with these, though, is we're going to do an egg wash on the outside of them, and then cover them. I'm going to put some sesame seeds on the top just for a little texture, because like a seeded roll is always really nice, and these are sort of like, uh, as I understand it, the dough is more like breadstick type of dough, so a little crunch on the outside might be tasty. All right, I'm going to take this cheese and keep it consolidated more to the center, and the pepperoni, I'm going to try to layer on the outside to maybe insulate it a little bit. And it's still going to come out, but I'm hopeful that the cheese doesn't explode. That's the goal. It probably will. And that's okay if it does. They're just pigs in a blanket. These are already way overcomplicated and fussy. So if it leaks out, it's just the universe telling me I need to decomplicate my life. Okay, so that one worked out a lot better. Um, that one worked out quite a bit better. So I'm not going to roll these out like that. I'm going to roll these out uh, and let gravity help me. That's going to be the ticket. Work smarter. Because these don't need to be perfect. I mean, these are pigs in a blanket. It is not going to be an exact science. Look at that. Oh, we got it going. Okay. Cheese, pepperoni, hot dog. Now let's wrap. Wrap. How are y'all's weeks going? How are you guys doing this week? Does it feel like a long one for you? It feels like this week has been at the very same time taken forever, and yet I'm like, oh my God, it's Thursday already. Like it's Thursday night. I don't know. Anybody have any hardships this week? What hard thing did you get through that you made it through? I had some work stuff that happened that was always frustrating, but that's not really a hard thing. I would not say I had anything too difficult this week. Nothing unmanageable. Let's say that. I had a down week, I think, which is good. I was camping last weekend, which, if you were hanging out, and I know some of y'all were hanging out watching me prep for that, the camping trip went really well. It was rained a little bit. It was overcast the whole time, but it was really nice. And the food turned out well, turned out really well. Um, it's hard to take photos of food when you're out kind of in the woods and, but I posted some photos on my Insta if you're interested in what all of that entails. And if you hit Command Social, there's a link to my Insta somewhere in there, and you can see that plus all the food I've made for like the past 4 years, 5 years. One, two, three, one, two, three, four. Let's get six of these on a tray. All right. We are doing well. The mac and cheese is actually, I would say, probably the most precise recipe of the ones that I'm using tonight, but is also probably one of the easier ones, or the quicker ones. Definitely getting better at the rolling out of these things. Okay, don't forget the hot dog. What are you doing? Get it together. Is the music too loud for y'all? The music is actually like in real life in my house from my laptop, about as high as I would like music to be while I'm in the kitchen. So it feels like a good volume for me. I'm curious if you guys are experiencing, if it's easy to hear my speaking over the music. All right. Woof. I got the counter line. Perfect. Definitely should have worn an apron. Oh well. I didn't. Thought about it. Thought about it before hopping on, and then thought no more about it until just this moment. CJ, the music is fine. Awesome. Thank you. I mentioned a little bit ago, I'm still kind of learning all the specifics of it. And, I don't want to like blow people's speakers with music and then have the vocals, the voice be, super low. This is not an ASMR channel. This is just trying to hear. Hot dog. Oh, golly. How long do these take to bake? 15 minutes, it says, or until golden brown. Good to know. Okay. And I am going to eat one of these later. I'm going to have some of mac and cheese later too, and we'll see how it all turns out. Okay, sheet pan one down. So stash this behind me. Sheet pan two. Six down, six to go. Almost there. Almost there. Since I'm kind of new to the streaming thing, and since some of y'all are chatting and interested in volunteering information, I'm just generally curious, like what do you guys think make a good stream? Like dinner with mom, you've been streaming for a while. You have some experience in that. Then I've heard that just a consistent schedule is good, but I also hear that people are very like, if you're not talking, if you're not getting the right angles, if you can't hear, like all these things, so much stress. I feel like I don't want to say that I don't care so much about that, but I want it to be an interesting experience and not I don't want it to be like this is unlistenable, right? But I think, I don't know. I don't have a problem talking, so I guess that's not going to be an issue. I'm just curious what makes a good stream. What do people like? I know what I like. I like when people talk. I like hearing things. I like hearing tips. Um, I like a narrative, sort of like what's happening. And again, these are all just like me. These are things that I enjoy out of a stream. In my very, very limited experience, my partner got me into Twitch like 3 months ago. So this is all very new. I definitely, I definitely understood what Twitch was in terms of video games. But I don't think I knew, I don't think I knew how kind of broad it was. Dinner with Mom, for me, it's about the streamer. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of a window, it's a window into someone's personality and their home. And I think that certainly that goes a long way. I think if it's hard to hear the streamer, technical things, technical things can be frustrating, I think, as a viewer. I think as a streamer, certainly they can be frustrating too for a whole different thing. CJ, I enjoy the community and learning how to make fun foods. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely, that's what I've been enjoying the most. I think there's been a few folks that I have hopped in on whose streams I've enjoyed. Um, I've been online, hot dog. I've been online, during the day sometimes. I'll like put Twitch on while I'm working. If I'm not working on something like that requires if I'm not writing an email that requires precision language, I can watch Twitch at the same time. Um, just be you. Yeah, heard. Dinner with mom. I watch streamers that just cook and it's more about the technique. But for others like you, it's super fun to hear the dialogue. Yeah, I think that the technique is fascinating. I am not a chef. Like I'm not a professional chef. I have no training. I just have cooked a lot, and so I'm comfortable in the kitchen. But I definitely appreciate. I was watching someone stream the other day that was talking about baking and sort of all of the different nuances of baking soda and baking powder, and it was like, oh my God, I'm so enraptured by all this conversation, and I have no idea. I'm like, this is so deep for me. You're very professional. Dialogue and technique. We call that the work and the lurk. Your technique is solid. The work and lurk. Yeah. You know, I definitely, I feel uh, it's interesting. I feel like when you have a channel or you're watching somebody and there's like three people watching, right? Like, and they're doing great and it's engaging. I just like, I want to chat sometimes. And then sometimes I just like kind of want to just hear what's happening. Um, I lurk a lot while I'm working for sure at least recently. And also if you are watching and you're like, hey, I'm not chatting right now, that's cool too. You don't need to do that. We're just talking about how we do that and how we do lurk and how it's totally okay. Uh, this channel is up on the internet live for anyone to watch. And I'm happy to have you here in silent solidarity. Thanks for joining. All right, three more to go. Three more to go. Love Alton Alton Brown. We just love to cook. Yeah, I used to watch America's Test Kitchen, right? And I'm using a recipe from America's Test Kitchen tonight, so I can. It's fussy and whatever, but yeah, I loved watching that for that sort of like precision. Here's like a really detailed explanation of exactly why this thing works. Like, let's get into it. Um, and I also like I'll watch that and be like, man, I just don't know anything. I feel bad about it sometimes. If you've seen on YouTube, I really like the series that's like amateur versus professional, where they do three, like an amateur home cook, whatever, like a foodie, for lack of a better term, and then like a professional. And I saw one on there yesterday that was for pigs in a blanket. I did not watch it because this was at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just totally, totally zonked and tired. Um, but I've enjoyed those videos. I especially love watching the amateur person do it. And as much as it pains me to say, I feel a certain like, oh yeah, usually the foodie is like, oh, that's kind of where I'm at. Um, you're doing stuff that I know about. But anyway, some things work and some things don't. The fun of cooking. Yeah, totally. Totally. Oh man, what was the last I do this all the time. I'll cook something and then I'll make like a critical comment about it, right? I'll say like, oh, this needs more of this. This needs more salt. This needs more whatever. Um, and I always have to stop myself and be like, I'm not criticizing that this wasn't good. It's just like, I like to improve. I want to improve. And I'm really just trying to make observations about things. Okay. Almost there. We got two left. Two left and then we egg wash. Then we egg wash. Oh, I have to admit, if we're talking about uh, successes and failures, uh, I gotta say that these are coming together a little better than I hoped they would. So for what that's worth, I am feeling good about where these are at. Okay, one more. Let's get all the flour off of here. All the flour. Have you guys had any kitchen like fails? Like, what's the last thing that you cooked that was just like a disaster? Oh, I am trying to remember. I know I've definitely like overcooked things recently. I am trying to remember. I cooked some monkey bread at camp a couple weeks ago. That was just like a brick. It actually ruined the inside of my Dutch oven. I had to completely strip it down and reseason it, and it was not a good look. Not a good look. Italian Boy 69. Hey cutie. Hey yourself. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. If you hit Command Menu, you will see what we're making. What I am making. Why do I keep saying we? I feel like people do that on Twitch. I, and with your collective observation, have made lemonade already. That is in the fridge. I'm wrapping the pigs in a blanket, and uh, next we're gonna do mac and cheese. So that's what we're up to tonight. Italian boy, what are you up to tonight? How did you find the channel? How did you stumble across the little broadcast we're doing this evening? We are doing, we collectively are experiencing this broadcast together. Okay. So I've got this kind of stuff. Okay. I've got pigs in a blanket here. I need to do a little egg wash on these, and then we're going to do sesame seeds. Dinner with mom. Dad made a clafoutis. Clafoutis? I've clearly never heard of this thing. I've clearly not made this thing. Did not end well. What is that? That sounds like a dessert. Sounds like a dessert. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. With one egg with 1 tablespoon of milk, brush the top of each dough wrapped hot dog and sprinkle with sesame seeds. You got it. Directions. All right. Egg. Let's get a little fork here. Tablespoon of milk is half an ounce. Milk. Where are you? There you are. A cherry clafoutis sounds like dessert. That sounds like an old, like an old dessert that you'd find at like a banquet. I'm imagining like nice clothes. I see that you chatted me that, but I'm just imagining that you chatted me the answer, but I'm just imagining like cherries jubilee or something like that. Baked French dessert. Yes, dessert. A fruit, traditionally black cherries, arranged in a buttered dish and covered with a thick flan-like batter. That sounds indulgent. Hmm. Yeah, that sounds really good. All right. Coming into it. Get this egg wash. And somewhere, there it is. And then sesame seeds. Gotcha. Okay. I still need this flour, so I'm going to use that for the mac and cheese. That flour is going to live on the counter for the rest of this evening. Okay, let's do a little egg wash on these and get the whole thing. Howdy. Don't look, it's a secret. Jennifer's coming in off camera here. It would have it would have been if you remember the eggs. Yeah, that definitely eggs are important in flan. Gwen, I heard you. Are you staying upstairs? Okay. Good night. I'm gonna be here. Uh Jennifer's been in the basement playing Fortnite this evening. Yeah, how do you make a flan without eggs? What is that? It turns into just pudding, right? Something like that. Okay. We are, this is kind of fun. doing an egg wash. The egg wash had tablespoon of milk mixed into it. We call it the fluffle. So this is actually like this is a family story. I'm sure. Uh, question: at some point, did he have the chance to redeem himself? Was there a cherry clafoutis that ended with spectacular success? I'm hoping the answer is yes, because certainly that would have been satisfying. Okay, almost, almost two more. I wish I could say yes, but not so much. I'm sorry to hear that. It will remain, it will remain the kerfluffle forever, and that's okay. Now you have a story. Now you have a story. Okay. These get some sesame seeds on the top, and then we pop these into the oven. It said something about where to put the rack, but like it's the oven. I think it would be okay. Mm, it doesn't. Okay. Let's just get some sesame seeds on these. And okay, it says 15 minutes for these. Let's pop these in. Let me set the timer first. Bake at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these in the oven. I'm going to take that little mini cam and put it in front of the oven so that we can see them rise together. And then I am going to get everything ready and measured out for the mac and cheese. I'm probably going to pull these and then make the mac and cheese so that my timing, so I don't have to like stop what I'm doing with the mac and cheese because you kind of make a roux, I think. So we'll move this. Let's get this in here. These in. Start the timer. Oh, no, we'll do these like this. And let's put this guy here. Then we can all see these Johns in the oven at the same time. And we'll change that up here so that we have the three-part view. All right, oven's going. Uh, got those in that box. Okay. Right, it's getting late in KC. You got to go to bed so I can try and save the groundwater in the Midwest. Hey, that is an admirable thing, my friend. If you are working towards a better environment in any capacity, thank you. And good night. It's been really nice having you here. Already, Edith says it's my bedtime. Thank you so much for the great team. See you next time. Hope you all have a great party. Yeah, hey, thank you. And thanks for just hanging out. It's been really nice to chat. I'm really happy that you guys popped in. And enjoy your bedtime. Enjoy your Friday. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. I hope it's a really good one for you. Okay, we are now coming into the tail end, I would say, of this particular evening. Last but not least is going to be the mac and cheese. First, let me take a look at where I'm at here. Okay, I rolled, I baked. Okay, for the mac and cheese, there's two things. I want to make the crumb topping and then I want to make the actual mac and cheese. So I'm going to make the crumb topping first because that's just like a siloed thing. I don't need to do, I'm not even going to use it today. So I want to make it and stash it. So for the crumb topping, I need uh, white bread and cold unsalted butter. That's what it says. So white bread. How many tablespoons of butter? Four and a half. We got one, two, three, four, and actually, hold on. One, two, three, four, five. This stick with you. And 9 slices, 6 ounces, so 9 ounces, 9 ounces of sandwich bread in rough pieces. Um, let's just get let's just get the food processor. I'm gonna do these real quick in this processor. I'm just gonna measure them, or I'm gonna weigh them into the bowl here. And this is really super inexact because the crumb topping is the thing that actually needs to get measured. I'm just doing it because I want to follow the recipe. I've chosen to follow the recipe today as opposed to normal. So one, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9 ounces. 9.4. Close enough. All right. I am going to now do the tear those up into rough pieces. So, whoa, blade came out. Let's go ahead and just tear these into rough pieces. What we're doing right now is making the crumb topping. I'm going to set that to the side. I am going to make a mac and cheese this evening um, that can be eaten because I want to eat. I'm hungry. Again, I ate earlier. Need second dinner. All right, rough pieces. Perfect. And then I need butter cut into pieces. So I need to cut this butter off a little bit, and I'm going to process that together. It says the crumbs are no larger than 1/8 of an inch. This is America's Test Kitchen book, so you know it's precise. All right, I am going to get all these in. We've got bread, we've got butter coming. Those pigs in a blanket are in the oven. You can see those on the camera. Those are getting rising. Hopefully, they look like they're rising. Oh man, I can see them in the on the screen here. That's cool. Um, okay, so this is good. Let's get that in, and then this we'll cut up and pop that in there. And get this into some smaller pieces. The food processor will definitely take care of. Okay, so it says to do 10 to 15 1-second pulses. So let's go. One, two, three, 6. Okay, that's good. I'm going to take this and store this now because um, I don't need this until Sunday. I'm going to leave a little bit of it out to make a bowl this evening. But otherwise, this is just going to go into some containers here. 8 minutes, it says, left on the chicken in a blanket in the oven. And once those are done, we're really going to be nearing completion, which is great. All right, so that's going to be for the big pan. These, I'm going to use some of these tonight, and then I'll store the rest depending on how much I get to use. So I'm just going to leave this out on the counter. I'm going to leave this one out on the counter. I'm going to stash this one because this is full. This gets to go back in the fridge, or into the fridge for the first time. Okay, so you can go outside, and let's wipe. Let's wipe. All right. Uh, topping's done. Topping's done. I got a couple minutes left on these pigs in the blanket. Let's see what we need to get ready for the rest of the mac and cheese. Oh yeah. Oh, those are looking fine. Fine. Fine as in beautiful, not fine as in just okay. Okay. Um, definitely need the need the flour. Okay. Um, I need to make the pasta. Okay. Let's get this water back on. I had this on way earlier, and it's now cool enough that I can put my hand in from a rolling boil. So let's get that going again. I'm gonna put a lid on that and get this boiling quicker. And then we'll prep the rest of the ingredients. So I need to make the macaroni, and then I add the flour, mustard, and cayenne and combine those. Okay, so let's add some flour. How much flour? 6 tablespoons, 9 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Um, 9 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. How much is a tablespoon of flour? I've got some conversions on here. All-purpose, 1 cup is 142 grams. 1 cup is 16 tablespoons. So 142 grams divided by 16, that is 8. 142 divided by 16, that's 8 grams per tablespoon, and I need 9 tablespoons. So 8.8 times 9 is 79.8. So I'm going to do 80 grams of flour. Doing some math tonight. Perfect. 80 grams of flour. Let me move this closer. So let's see. Golly. Um, 2¼ teaspoons of dry mustard. 2¼ teaspoons of dry mustard. Teaspoon measure is in here somewhere. There it is. Get that rinse off. All right, 2¼ teaspoons of dried mustard. Let's do a quarter teaspoon first. Quarter teaspoon. 1, 2. Good for my dried mustard. A half a teaspoon cayenne. I want a little heat to it, which is nice. A half a teaspoon of cayenne. It's a little good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Checking on my time. I've got 3 minutes left for the pigs in a blanket in the oven. Great. Um, okay, so I want to combine the flour, mustard, and cayenne. Um, so I want to heat the butter. I need 7.5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7.5. We're just going to go with these because that's plenty. It's like the exact right amount. So those get melted in a Dutch oven, and then I have my milk. I need milk. I need 7.5 cups of milk. Okay, 7.5 cups of milk. Let's get this glass bowl. Press this glass bowl back into service because it's the only glass measure I have. 7.5 cups of milk. All right, so I want to do ounces. So 7.5 times 5. No, sorry. 7.5 cups of milk times 8 ounces. That's 60 ounces of milk. Perfect. Okay. 60 ounces of milk. It's a lot of milk. But I'm making a bit bigger than a normal batch. So 30, 40, 50, 60 ounces. Got it. All right, so the timer just popped. So let's check those pigs in a blanket. And hopefully they're doing well. Uh, let's see. I would say that I'm going to rotate these bottom to top and top to bottom, or bottom to top and front to back, and then leave them back in there for another 2 minutes. Because the ones on the top are golden, but the ones on the bottom do not seem to be golden. So, got the cheese spillage, which is great, as predicted, but not on all of them. That's awesome. And let's give those two, another 2 minutes there. All right, 2 minutes left on those. Got my milk here. I've got my cheese ready to go. Everything so far is good. Now I need to make sure I need to get the macaroni in and out of that pot because I'm going to use that same pot to make the macaroni and cheese. That's the Dutch oven in the context of this dish. So, oh, so I think I'm going to clean up the counter just a little bit here because this has turned into something of a disaster. I don't know. Do I need to bring any salt or pepper into this? Okay, so uh, no, no to adding salt. There's plenty, I think, of salt in the cheese. There's definitely um, there's none in the butter. It's unsalted. So I think I'm gonna probably end up putting like a little bit of pepper in here just so that it's got some extra. something extra to it. Going to clean this counter off a little bit, well, because it's gotten way overloaded this evening. And we are we're kind of coming into the last part here. Okay, crumbs. I made the crumbs. I portioned them. I put them in a thing. Okay, the mac and cheese is what's left for sure. Saving that for last. Let's pull these pigs in a blanket and take a look at those and see how they fared for us. And I'm going to put those here for just a moment. Let's see how these turned out. Awesome. That's perfect. Okay, those are good. I am not quite finished with the oven yet, so I'm going to leave that on because that's going to have the bowl of macaroni that I'm going to make, and that I'm going to um, eat in a little bit. So these look great. I'm very happy with these. They turned out they're golden brown. You can see they have the sesame seeds on them. Some of them are very well contained. No cheese to speak of spilling out. Real happy with how these turned out. I'm going to go ahead and loosen these up. Hopefully they're not stuck. Loosen these up, kind of move them around. I'm going to consolidate these onto one tray as well. I hear my water about to boil over there, or at least on its way, which is great. That's what we want. All right. So consolidated to one tray. Drop that. Let's stack under here. I'm going to go ahead and move these off to the side in the back here. Or no, I'm going to move these to the back of this counter because I want to cool them off a little bit and let them get good and room tempy before we get into the oven or into the fridge. So I'm storing these. These are going to get reheated on Sunday, uh, or whenever. They're going to get reheated at some point this weekend, kind of exactly as they are. So we'll let those cool off now. Okay. Um, Let me check on the water for the mac and cheese. I don't need this scale anymore. I'm all measured out. I'm all measured out. I'm going to I need a whisk to stir in the pan. And then I am going to, see, we got everything we need for the mac and cheese here. Pigs in a blanket are done, finished, done, confirmed, done. So I don't need that recipe out. Um, I do want to read what it says about the mac and cheese though, because this is super specific. Um, okay, cook until the pasta is tender, drain in a colander and set aside. I also need 1.5 pounds of pasta. I have a 2 pound box. So I'm going to go ahead and just use Just get that scale right back out and measure that. What I just need to measure out is a half a pound. So let's do 908 grams divided by 4 because this is 2 pounds. And then I need to measure 227 grams and leave that out. What I want to do is leave a pound and a half in the box as a time and a half the recipe. So what did I say? 227 for cool. Couple stragglers on the floor. All right, we got 226 and a half. We'll just set this aside. This is going to be for whatever happens later. All right. Almost there. It says I need to salt the water too, so let's do that. Add the macaroni and 1 tablespoon of salt. Sure. That's about a tablespoon. That's where the salt comes from. It's in the water. Got it. When you salt the pasta, it's going to be in every bite. That's awesome. Okay. Um, let's get. This looks to be nice about boiling. I'm going to actually drop this onto the big burner on the front because I want this to be at a rolling boil. It's too damn hot to go. It is. Okay, we're getting there. We are quickly getting there. I'm going to set this little tripod up here so when I'm stirring this, you can see what is uh what is happening in this in this pan. Okay. Um, Recap. Made the lemonade, and that's finished. Made the pigs in a blanket. Those are finished. Last, I'm making the mac and cheese. I've got the water ready to boil on the stove. I'm going to drop the pasta, and when that's done, I'm going to make the sauce in the same pan. So we've got about 10 more minutes. Al dente pasta, 7 minutes. For more tender pasta, boiling additional minutes. So I definitely want more tender pasta. I'm going to boil this for I'm going to cook this for 8 minutes, and that will be should be pretty sufficient. So, um, water's almost there. Let me get myself another beverage. I'm actually pretty parched. Um, Pretty parched. What I'm having here is a hop tea. It's just like a non-alcoholic tea, green tea with hops in it. It's kind of nice. It's like a beer alternative, I guess. Um, it's nice. I like it. I don't drink, so um, it's great. I love beer, but I don't want to be drinking it at this season in my life. So hop tea it is. Cool, cool. And hey, if you're hanging out with me here tonight and you are not chatting, that's cool. I just want you to know that you are welcome and you do not need to feel pressured to chat. I'm not going to call you out. I don't even know who's here. I don't know any of that. So welcome. You're welcome to sit here as quietly or as loudly as you want. Thank you for listening if you are. Okay. And if you're not, cool. You just on in the background, whatever. All right. I'm going to drop this pasta because that is almost boiling. It's close to that. It's about to be up at a boil, so we're almost there. Give this a stir. Set this for eight. I'm going to set this for 8 minutes, and I don't think it's going to be perfect at 8 minutes, but it's going to be close. So, um, cool. How do I want to package these pigs in a blanket? I think I want to put those into, I think I want to put those into a big container with like some parchment paper and just kind of layer them up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that while I am waiting for this water to boil. And, oh shit, they're definitely not all going to fit in there. That's not a good idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wrap them in aluminum foil because that's going to be the most flexible option. These are some big ass pigs in white, so I can't really put them in that container. All right, almost there. Almost there. Let's get the. These in pigs in blanket in aluminum foil, or should I put these in a plastic bag? Aluminum foil. Aluminum. Okay. Put that. Put that. Put book over there. These are getting. These are going good. They're cooled down a little bit. I don't want them to cool completely in here. I kind of want them to like be together in a package so they can kind of steam a little bit. What I really don't want is for the hot dog to separate too much from the side of the roll. I'm going to pack these a little bit tightly, and they're going to be ready to go. I can probably just heat them right back up in the same foil that they're in. So these are some really nice looking pigs in a blanket. I'm very, very pleased with how these turned out. Okay, close enough. And then I'm going to do three, three of these. 5 minutes left on that pasta on the stove. I'll give that a stir in just a second here. This last one on the tray is going to be for me. For me. All right. Perfect. Pigs in a blanket are finished and processed and good to go. So that's what we love to see. Okay. These are good. I'm gonna pop these into the refrigerator because they're ready. They're finished. Don't need them out on the counter anymore. Send it. All right. Whew, you're getting there tonight. All right. Let's recap because it has been a little while. Tonight we did the menu tonight, command menu is pigs in a blanket, which we finished. Here's one. snugly pig in a blanket. Lemonade, which I finished and made. That is in the refrigerator. It's quite an endeavor. And the last thing that's going is mac and cheese. So we have 4 minutes left on the mac and cheese water. The pasta's in there. It's boiling. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Uh, Last is the mac and cheese. We've got mac and cheese happening. I'm going to make this pasta, finish making this pasta. We're going to drain it, and then we're going to make the sauce right in the pot. This recipe does not call for any baking or anything like that. So you just, it does at the end. You broil it with the crumb on top. We're not going to do that because the crumbs from Sunday. But we are going to make the sauce. We've got the milk, we've got the cheese, we've got the flour, the butter ready to go. So in a second, I'm going to drain that and we're going to kick over to the stove with a little teeny can and get that moving. And then we're going to eat. I'm going to eat at least a little bit. I'm kind of hungry. Um, I might actually see, where'd that go? Oh, so say I might actually eat that pig in a blanket right now. But I'm not. Let this get this pasta finished instead. So this is going. This is going well. I'm going to take and move the camera over there um, to the stove. So we've got a little pasta view happening, and we can see this is going. Yeah, that's good. Almost there. The recipe calls for it to be tender, like done. Because it's not baking um, to finish, it's not absorbing. You're doing all the work in the pot for this recipe. It really wants it to be like ready, like finished, ready to eat. So, um, let that finish out its recommended time. It says it's got a minute left. It tastes like it's soft enough. It's pretty good. I don't want it to get too much soft. All right. So, pasta's about to be done. I need to drain that pasta into with, not into, with a colander. And I have worked myself into a corner by creating a mountain of dishes. All right, good. Let's drain this in just a moment. Glove, gloves, glove. Okay, ready to go. Let's drain this. Do I need to reserve any of the water? No. All right, good. So we have now. We need to move. We need to move this operation over to the stove and get that and get this together in the pot. So let's take a look inside the pot here as we have the ability to do so. And just going to move that. Sorry for the shakiness. Okay, that is that is about as good as I'm going to get it at the moment. I hope that is an acceptable view. Okay, um, so now we have a now we need to get Sorry, I moved my phone out of the way. All right, now we need to get this cheese going. So we add the butter, heat the butter until it's foaming. Then we add the flour, mustard, and cayenne and whisk to combine. And then we continue whisking until the fragrance comes deeper in color. Then you add the milk, boil, medium. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. Let's start with the butter. Golly. Okay, I'm going to start with the butter here. It's melt and thicken. Heat the butter over medium-high heat until firming, it says. Medium-high heat until firming. There we go. That's a better angle. All right. Medium-high heat until firming. It has done that. Okay, so now we add the flour, cayenne, and mustard powder. That's going to be next. So we're making a roux. Making a roux. So we are mixing well to combine. Okay, so now it says that we want to add the milk gradually and have that be add the milk gradually. Whisking constantly, gradually add the milk. Bring the mixture to a boil, whisking constantly. So whisking constantly seems very important in this process. So we're gradually, ever so gradually adding the milk. And we're going to whisk. We're going to whisk and whisk and whisk. And it says to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this up. Hopefully not light my shirt on fire. Okay. So the goal here is to mix this into a full boil and then uh, simmer it for like 5 minutes until it thickens into a heavy cream consistency. That's what the directions are telling me, so that's what we're going to go with. Um, I am on I'm on high, so we've got any we've got a pretty short time. We don't whisk constantly. That's what it says. And then it says it needs to be about 5 minutes on a simmer. So let's anticipate that we're going to hit simmer. And I'm aware that the whisking constantly while you are heating it with milk is important because otherwise I think it curdles. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but if you hit a full boil while it's in motion, I think there's something that happens that stops it from like separating or something of that nature. I don't know. I'm not a food scientist. I'm also not a chef. So here we are. Um, just gonna whisk constantly, whisking constantly. Cool. So this is the last dish that I'm making tonight. This is macaroni and cheese, and I did the eggs and blankets earlier. I did some lemonade earlier. All of this is designed to be for my partner's birthday this Sunday, easily reheatable, something that the family can enjoy. Some things that she requested. She wanted lemonade. She wanted pigs and blankets. She wanted mac and cheese. So we're doing them fancy. We have Kraft all the time. We have Annie's all the time. We're doing some nice mac and cheese at this point. Still just mac and cheese, no extra additives, no like peas, no bacon, no tomatoes, just mac and cheese. The only thing that's a little extra in this is cayenne pepper, but that's like half a teaspoon of cayenne in a vat of milk. It's not, you're going to feel nothing. So maybe a little flavor. Okay. Almost. I can see it bubbling if I let it be still for a second, or at least just in only slight motion. All right. I am literally waiting for a pot to boil. I'm watching a pot. I'm waiting for the pot. We're here. Hey, if you are sitting here watching this stream, thanks for being here. You don't need to chat. Don't feel obligated. I will fill the silence. I will fill the void with my speech, my words. Uh, yeah, definitely don't feel obligated. Happy to have anybody who's interested in watching. Uh, cool. Welcome in. This is going. We're getting there. We're real close. Almost boiling. Almost boiling. I'm gonna give this a little slow stir now. I want to whisk it, but I don't need to be, it doesn't need to be in violent motion. Just stir it away. Waiting for this to boil so I can turn it down and simmer it for 5 minutes. All of this mac is made in the pot too. This is not baking mac and cheese. You don't put this in the oven. This is designed to just be like in a pot, serve it. You put it under the broiler for a few minutes and get it crispy. Get that topping I just made crispy. But other than that, no stove involved, or no oven involved, rather. Definitely stove involved. No oven involved, though. All right, almost there. The recipe, by the way, specifically says it must come to a full boil in order to thicken. So, while I don't always follow recipes, that seems important. It said whisking constantly and full boil. And it's America's Test Kitchen, so I know they know a thing about having done this before. Okay, I can see a little steam starting to come off of this. So we are almost hitting a boiling point. Almost there. So this weekend is a birthday weekend. Got some family in town. Not yet. They're coming tomorrow. So we have a little cleaning up to do, specifically in the kitchen, but also in the house in general. Um, and hopefully we can get a little time outside. It's supposed to be boiling hot, and we're eating mac and cheese. So, perfect hot weather food. Yikes. All right. This is coming along. Let me take one of these. Oh, the macaroni is good. Definitely tender, like it asks for, or calls for. All right. So this was 7.5 cups of milk in here that's going into boil. So we're getting there. It's definitely starting to. I can feel it starting to thicken a little bit. I can see we got a lot of steam coming off of here now. So we're a minute away from tipping into a boil. And when we tip into a boil, we want to reduce the heat to medium and simmer. So full boil, simmer 5 minutes, and uh, then we whisk in the cheese and some salt, and then we cook it back on the stove again with the pasta in it, and it's finished. Won't that be lovely? So we definitely see some steam coming off of here. Take a real quick break. Give me a drink. Okay. There's a lot of stove standing, huh? This is what they say when they're like, "Oh, I was in front of a hot stove all day." Like, I get it. I get it. Toiling away in front of a hot stove. Kind of one of the happier places I can imagine though. So, you know, oh, this feels super thick and is uh definitely just about to crack in the boiling. So I want this. It says it must reach a full boil to fully thicken. It's so specific. So we're about there. There we go. Coming in. I would say that that is a full boil. So let's drop this down to medium. We're going to hit our timer and simmer this for 5 minutes. Simmer this for 5 minutes. It says whisking occasionally. I'm going to continue to just gently whisk this. Um, I feel like the stove is really hot. It's been hot. Like, I don't want the milk to curdle. So I'm going to continue to whisk this while this is simmering away. Oh my. So it has been a busy night in the kitchen tonight, even though I'm only making three things. Uh, Somehow that has taken forever. And it's not because I was like talking, chatting. It's just like the lemons took forever. I zested them, I cut them, I juiced them, made dough, let the dough rise. It's been an involved evening, more involved than simple comfort food would entail in one's imagination, I think. So we're stirring and stirring. We're getting this couple minutes left here. So the very next thing after this is turning off the heat and putting the cheese and a little salt in, and then adding the pasta and cooking it again for a few minutes on the stove. And then it's done. Then you broil it with some uh, of that crumb that I made on top of it. It's just butter and white bread uh, for a few minutes in the broiler. Okay, this is doing good. We finally hit the right like simmer temperature, uh, where it's not bubbling anymore. I said the stove was pretty hot. It's a flat bottom, a heavy bottom pan. It does retain heat pretty well. And we are we're coming in here. We're getting there. It says consistency of heavy cream, uh, so it's about there. It's about there. Almost. I want to kick this back up just a little bit. I want to see some more bubbles and get this really, really, really nicely consistency of heavy cream. I think we are there. Just about. All right. Last couple seconds here. Last couple seconds here. Last thing to go in is going to be cheese. No, scratch. Last thing to go in is going to be pasta. Um, but this wouldn't be macaroni and cheese without cheese. And so next, I'm going to take this off the heat, take this off, turn the heat off anyway. 3, 2, so okay. Heat is off. Heat is off, and it says off the heat, whisk in the cheese, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So let's just go with the teaspoon of salt first. Perfect. And then we have all this cheese, and it says slowly incorporate. Um, oh, it says whisk in the cheese until the cheeses are fully melted. Okay, noted. So let's get a little cheese in here. It's going to do a little bits at a time. And whisk some cheese in. Fully melted, it says. All right. Well, it's melting quick. That's good. Heck yeah. This is good. You know what this hasn't done? It hasn't broken. It didn't break and get grainy like cheese can get. Cheese and milk. I want this. This is creamy is the goal. Like I don't know. I mean that should be obvious, but creamy is the goal. And then add the pasta and cook over medium-low heat, stirring constantly. Constantly. There's that word again, stirring constantly. So we're going to stir constantly. But first, we have to add the pasta. Okay. I would say this has gone well. It's saucy, but not thick. It's so thick. It's too thick. Okay. Um, add the pasta and cook over medium-low heat. Medium low. That's going to be this burner goes up to 7. Medium low is going to be 2.5. So let's add the pasta. And it says stirring constantly. So let's get all this in here. And we will stir constantly. And it says for about 6 minutes. So longer than the milk needed to boil or simmer. Um, but really, that 6 minutes is just so that everything gets incorporated. Okay, medium low heat until everything is incorporated. Until the mixture is steaming and heated through, it says. Steaming and heated through. So we want steamed heat. I want that cheese to get in every single macaroni. Every single. And also, it's going to reduce a little bit more while it steams, and that's good. And as I said, this is going to be finished, pretty much finished here, uh, as you would understand, like regular mac and cheese. There's no baking this in the oven. It doesn't get any. You don't finish it in the oven. It's finished on the stove. It's finished on the stove. Yeah. Hopefully that's focused again. Technical errors, me knocking my camera. All right. Stirring constant. I am stirring constant until it is steaming and heated through. Steaming and heated through. That's what we want. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do tonight, in terms of this particular cook, is put the mac and cheese in the tray. I'm going to let it cool a very little bit, and then uh, pop that in the fridge. While that's cooling, I'm going to put some of the crumb topping on top of a little ramekin, and I'm going to broil that, and then I'm going to try it, see how it is. I feel like this is hell of a lot of mac and cheese, which is the goal. It looks super creamy. Um, it looks super creamy in here. I know the light is a bit washed out in this pot. I'm not really sure if I stand somewhere better. If I stood with my back to you, I'm not sure how to get the light in this pot to be any better to see. And the stove light itself doesn't actually work. So I'm sorry about that. I've got about 3 more minutes of constant stirring here, as my timer indicates, and then I'll be finished. This particular recipe is super specific. It calls for doing this